Okay. Like I said, we're going to talk about mindset today. Okay. The big thing with mindset is that I think that you guys have to switch your idea of what that is. Like, everyone thinks about mindset and they think about, okay, just the way you think about things, like, are you locked in, are you not, XYZ, those kind of things. But I really think that mindset in a grander scale is just your perspective, what you're choosing to see, right? So, like, you've noticed it before where, I don't know if you've ever noticed in the FedEx symbol. Have you ever seen the FedEx logo? Right, how there's an arrow in the logo that you only notice it once people point it out. You understand what I mean? It's no different than if, like, you're looking to buy a new car or looking at a new bat or looking at, a new pair of shoes or whatever. All of a sudden you start seeing it everywhere. Same thing is true with anything in your life, right? If you want to look for opportunities, you're going to see them, right? If you want to look for struggles, you're going to see them. If you want to look for, oh, poor pitiful me, you're going to see them. Does that make sense? So you kind of get to choose your perspective, choose what you want to see, and then, we can use that skill to kind of take with us as we go in the baseball world specifically. So last week I touched on E plus R equals O. Do you guys remember what that meant? Yep, event plus response equals outcome. So you kind of get to choose your response and therefore have a handle on your outcome as a whole. Same thing is true with your mindset. You get to choose based off of the mindset that you pick whether or not a bad call is information or if it's a personal attack, right? One of them helps you, one of them doesn't, right? You can either take it personally, be like, okay, this umpire hates me and I'm going to get bad calls the rest of the game, and that's the choice that you're making to feel that way and to see that call that way, and you'll make that a reality with the rest of your day. Or you can make it and see that and be like, okay, hey, he's going to be calling the ball in today. I need to know that for the rest of my the rest of my day and adjust accordingly. And everything that we happen upon, every event that we see, our response like kind of dictates what it looks like. So having an elite mindset and training that elite mindset and trying to be aware of, how we're thinking about things and the perspective that we're choosing, we're going to be way better off. Does that make sense? So you can have elite versus fixed mindset. So a fixed mindset is basically just how I am is the way that I am, right? I'm who I am and nothing can change it, and this is the way it is. No big deal. Right? A elite mindset means that, okay, you can grow. I can become better than I am today. I have responsibility and I need to take responsibility in order to get to where I want to go. Right? An elite mindset is very much similar to a growth mindset. Have you guys heard that idea of like growth versus fixed mindset? You guys have heard of that, right? And so with anything in life, you want to have that growth mindset of looking for opportunities to grow, looking for lessons that are going to help you go the direction that you want to. If you aren't intentional about having that mindset, then whatever you're naturally born with is the one that you're going to have. Whether that's the, oh, poor me, or hey, this is difficult, I'm going to shy away from it, or XYZ, right? But you can choose the mindset that you decide to have, okay? You can choose the perspective, you can choose how you see the world, you can choose XYZ, okay? So one of the best ways, the most important part of that is your beliefs will shape your behavior, right? And your behavior kind of basically shapes your results, right? At the end of the day, how you behave is how things are, how they, and with that, there's kind of that adage of fake it till you make it, If you don't feel like you're having a good day, you don't feel like being an energetic ball player, then fake it until all of a sudden you have that energy and you steal that bag and you see that extra play, okay? One of the things that I've kind of been harping on you guys this summer with, specifically the baseball playing, is looking for those opportunities. Like, you're being given the option of, like, in summer ball or fall ball or whatever you're going to be able to do, you have the option to, hey, this is your time to push yourself and fail, okay? Like, you get that opportunity, right? Push yourself and fail. I want you to, right? I want you to try to see if you can get that extra bag. I want you to dive for the ball and see if you get it. And so with anything in baseball, anything in life, you have the opportunity to be like, okay, hey, this is something that, hey, I just can't get to that ball. That's, how it is, and it's always been that way, and I'm never going to get better. Or be like, okay, hey, I'm going to see what I can do. I'm going to push myself, okay? So basically, I want you to let your mindset dictate your beliefs, the way that you see the world, your perspective, and then I want that to shape your behavior and put it in the right way. So the two tangible things that I want you guys to take away from this today. The first one is you have to practice your mindset. So we talked about awareness and we talked about focus the last 2 weeks. And once you're aware of how you're thinking and how you're feeling, then you can kind of be like, okay, hey, I want to fine tune things and be the person and act the way that I want to act. I want to think the way that I want to think, right? I want to help myself get better and become a better athlete, become a better thinker, become a better person in general, right? So you have to have that awareness before you can refine it, okay? So just be aware of what mindset are you in. After a bad call, what's your natural response, right? And then should it change in order to benefit you, right? Should it be information, right? I say the same thing to anybody that I'm trying to help like adjust their weight up or down, is I'm like, hey, you need to weigh yourself every day until you're no longer attaching your ego to that outcome, right? Right? You're no longer attaching your ego to that event, right? It's just info. Same thing with velo. Same thing with your average, whatever, right? Like I see this all the time with, they're afraid to, they're afraid to give in to whatever they ultimately want because it's going to cost them their ego in the short term, right? Whether that's like a hitter who is frustrated because they're not hitting the ball well. I'm like, at a certain point, like, are you not hitting the ball well, or is it just going to people? Are you not getting on base, right? Like, at the end of the day, you can't control if the ball's caught, right? But you can control if you hit the ball hard, and if you don't miss your pitch, and if you attack the thing that you want to attack, and be the hitter that you want to be during that AB. So, like, the amount of times that someone hits a ball hard and then they're pissed, it doesn't make sense. It's no different than if a pitcher hits a spot and they get a single. You're like, okay, cool. That's information. That guy likes that inside pitch. Or, hey, the left fielder is going to play pull side on me. Information. It's not a personal attack. It doesn't mean that you suck, right? But with an elite mindset, it's just information, and it will allow you to be better. So the other thing is your BFS. So your body language, your focus, and your self-talk. Those are 3 key indicators of like something that externally I can see about athletes and about people and know where you're at. Okay, know if you're in a moment of good mindset or if you've lost it. Okay, so one thing that I want you guys to do is over the next week or so, look at in life, in baseball, whatever. What does your body language, focus, and self-talk look like when you're at your best, and what does it look like when you're struggling? Okay, and then become aware of that, and all of a sudden maybe you can notice that in yourself of like, oh hey, I'm exhibiting bad body language right now. My mindset's probably not where I want it to be. Oh, hey, I'm distracted. My focus isn't there. I'm probably not where I want to be. So you become more aware of it. Hey, how am I talking to myself? Do I tell myself that I suck? Or do I tell myself like, hey, this is information, right? And that's the constant mindset that's going to allow you to be more successful in baseball and in life. Because baseball is very, very failure driven, right? Very, very failure focused, right? And if you constantly are attaching that to your ego of saying, I have to get hits, you have no control over whether or not you get a hit. You can control if you see the ball well. You can control if you swing at the right pitches. You can control if you hit the ball well. You can't control if you get a hit. They can shift on you. The guy can make an amazing play. That's completely outside of your control. And if you constantly focus on that, you're going to be disappointed. Same thing's true in life, okay? As a pitcher, all you can do is focus on having your routines down pat, throwing the pitch where you want to. Once it's left your hand, it's not in your control whether or not the catcher catches it. It's not in your control if the umpire calls it a strike. It's not in your control if the hitter swings and misses. You only have a certain amount that's within your control. So make sure that you guys focus on having an elite mindset that's going to help you ultimately get to where you want to go, control the controllables, and then become aware of your BFS, your body language, your focus, and your self-talk, so that you can know where you're at, all right? Adjust your awareness, adjust your mindset, and be better because of it, all right? Any questions? No? Good. What's like kind of self-talk? So basically, I have a list that I'll send you of like what good self-talk looks like and bad self-talk looks like. I will also have a whole nother talk just about self-talk. But basically, is it looking forward, and is it tangible? Is it objective? Is it reinforcing the positive, or is it telling myself not to do the negatives? Right? Like if it's a personal attack on you, that's bad self-talk. Right? Be like, hey, I suck. That's bad. Like, for example, there was a pitcher I was working with the other day who, as soon as he came set, he was like, yeah, I'm throwing a curveball. He's like, yeah, this pitch is going to suck. I was like, whoa, step off. Why are you even throwing it then? What's the matter, right? Like, for him, it's a self-defense thing. Like, he's like, this is the first time he's throwing this new pitch in front of me, and he's like probably a little embarrassed, a little vulnerable. You know what I mean? So he's like, it's a self-protection thing, but that's bad self-talk. I'm like, hey, when is this pitch good for you? And he's like, well, when my arm is on time and I get my fingers out in front, my curveball is pretty good. I'm like, okay, then say that, right? Say, when my arm's on time and I get my fingers in front of this ball, I have a good curveball. Then come set and deliver your pitch. Does that make sense? Right? And so, like, that's what I'm talking about with self-talk. Is it actually helping you, right? Like, if a friend said it to you, would you be pissed at them or be like, thanks, bud? You know what I mean? That's the best way to explain it. That's the simplest way. But like I said, we'll go more in depth in that in a couple of weeks. Self-talk is one of my favorite mental performance things to talk about. You know, a little tidbit that's fun is 75% of your thoughts are negative, just naturally, right? Because our brains aren't wired to reinforce positive things. Because at the end of the day, the negative ones that are the ones that are going to kill us, right? Back in the day, right? Nowadays, all your brain notices are negative, and if things are good, it's just like, okay, we're fine. All right, it's not going to reinforce that. So reinforcing positive things that you do is also an important self-talk thing. But we'll go deeper into that as we go. I'll also send you that picture of the good self-talk versus bad self-talk. Elite mindset, quotes, and fixed mindset quotes. Does that work? You good with that? Anything else? No? Appreciate you guys listening. Thank you.